Hi, this is Kirby Sommers. Today is July 9th, 2025, and this is a preview of an article that I am working on, basically describing the real reason that Donald Trump's Department of Justice has made the decision and the statement that they have sort of put forward. That they are sort of like there's nothing here regarding the JE client list, that he unalived himself, that there is no credible evidence that JE blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. In any event, this has been an ongoing conversation that the public has been having. And, we have witnessed outrage even on the part of a very staunch supporters of Donald Trump. Here's the thing. Um, I have been digging into this for a very long time, much longer than when JE was arrested in July of 2019. I am a survivor of, let's call it, this group of elites. All right. And so I'm going to read to you a preview of an article I am working on, and it's titled JE, Donald Trump, and Another CIA Scandal. Bank of Credit and Commerce, Department of Justice issues reign supreme in not releasing I need to sort of use a different word here, the JE list. So, just an FYI, this platform does not allow someone like myself to use certain words. And there are times that I have to use another word that maybe doesn't even make sense. Make allowance for that because it is the only way I can relay information to you. If that bothers you, then please move on to mainstream media. I would not be disappointed at all. However, for those of you who follow my work and who are here, welcome. I'm going to read to you my preview. In the aftermath of Watergate, when the CIA was busy defending themselves and their agents from investigations by domestic authorities, the Bank of Credit and Commerce, BCCI, later known as the Bank of Crooks and Criminals International, became the go to vehicle for the CIA. It was a fraud of gigantic proportions and involved money laundering, minor uh, illegal situations, comma, bribery, gun running, substance trafficking, and terrorism, to name just a few. Donald Trump's Justice Department's decision not to release the JE files and insist there's nothing there has more to do than, let's say, with the CIA than it does with Trump's own behavior. We know, for example, that Donald Trump and JE were friends. We know this. There isn't anybody now that does not know this, frankly. So they hung out together. We even know that they shared girls and women. I'm not going to debate that, but that is a known fact. What the public does not know, nor does the Trump administration want on their hands, is a repeat scandal of what is known as the BCCI scandal. This is what they're hiding. So, in the next day or two, I'm going to be dropping evidence, basically receipts, that Epstein indeed belonged to intelligence, namely CIA, because the public has been duped into believing JE worked only for Mossad. And this is not so. JE worked for Donald Trump's administration. I know that some of you are finding that sentence perhaps difficult to understand. I'm going to repeat that sentence. JE worked for Donald Trump's administration. And so I am going to say to you that from the time that I began working on this, and there is a younger JE when he was working at the Dalton School, but I do have the badge of the CIA right there next to him for a reason. Well, people say very nice things about my work. My work has been supported by pretty much, I would say, the same people are still following my work closely from the first day that I started, and the reviews are incredibly kind, incredibly kind. I bring to this information that most people do not bring to it, based on the fact that, as I said, I am a survivor of this, and I have been studying this for a very long time, like well over 2 decades. Now, I'm going to continue my article here. I've had 3 attempts on my life. However, I keep going. We should all keep going. We should keep digging. We should keep asking questions. We should keep gathering information. And really, whether you live in the United States or in Antarctica, understanding the intricacies of what is unseen is your right, okay? So I've shared with you my reviews. I'm going to share with you the fact that I have written a new book, and it's called Gerald Ford MK Ultra. MK Ultra is a big aspect of a lot of this. MK Ultra also was sort of curtailed in 1975. We saw a cover up very similar to the cover up we are seeing today. So the documents were shredded that belonged to the MK Ultra program of the CIA just before, well, gee, just before we had the church committee hearings. Maybe about 10% of those documents ever made it. And during the church committee hearings, to be frank with you, and really to use his name in a kind of like sarcastic way, uh, not the right questions were asked. And even the people that showed up to be um, questioned, they weren't called to the stand. So we got very little, and what we ended up there uh, is very similar to what we're ending up here. However, at the time, they just didn't want the public to know about a covert program aimed against the citizens of the United States. We're looking now at not only that layer, but I am proposing that what we are looking at is the fact that the government and Donald Trump, because he is the president of the United States, does not want a scandal the likes of which we knew, let's say from the BCCI scandal, that was just all over the place. And it was created, this bank was used by the CIA, it was used by, let's say, other intelligence agencies as well. However, I'm going to be dropping an article explaining to you with receipts why Donald Trump and his administration are basically saying, hey, this did not happen. With that, I'm going to ask you to, there's a link below. Go take a look at the article itself. It's free. I just made it available about, let's say, 10 minutes ago. I'm putting this on my YouTube so that you can hear it if you're not there on my list of subscribers. And if you're not there, feel free to add yourself. Okay, well, I will ask you to please like, subscribe, and share. It's the only way to get the truth out. We know that mainstream reports a fraction of the truth, but basically, somebody like myself, well, I'm going to tell you everything. Okay, guys, on that note, I wish you a good day. Talk soon. Bye.